evening and welcome to this special New Year's edition of News Leader on 6. I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, we'll have highlights of our most popular and important news stories from this crazy year that was 2020 on tonight's News Leader on 6.
Whoa, that was a rough landing. Ho, 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 ho. Boy, sure is warm and cozy in here thanks to Stuart. I think I'll take me a long winter's nap.
May you rejoice in the perfect gift, our Savior, Jesus Christ, the perfect joy, the perfect peace. To all of you, we wish
Merry Christmas.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
This is the face of a fighter.
I'm fighting to keep Tennesseans working.
I'm fighting for time with my friends.
I'm fighting for football on Saturday.
I'm fighting to see my students back in the classroom.
We're fighting for our small business.
I'm fighting to keep my family safe.
Whatever you're fighting for, it's time for all Tennesseans to fight back. Until there's a vaccine for COVID-19, this is the face of a fighter. Face it, masks fight COVID-19.
My wife, Jackie, has always been the life of the party. But things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her. And now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tulahoma wants you to get active and live well.
Welcome back. Tulahoma Mayor Lane Curley says he will not be seeking re-election after his current term concludes in August. I spoke with Lane Wednesday afternoon. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're pleased to be talking today with Tulahoma Mayor Lane Curley, who yesterday sent out a text to a lot of his friends and colleagues that he's worked with for a number of years, and kind of some surprising news to a lot of us. Lane, tell us what's happening.
Well, so about a month or so ago, I guess, I made a hard decision for me to not seek re-election when my term is up in August. Mm-hmm. So it's been 18 years, and yes, I love being mayor, and I always have loved being mayor, but I just felt it's not about me, it's about what's best for the community. Mm-hmm. And I just feel it's time for some new, fresh leadership.
That's as we watch your career over the years, and I've seen it all, I think, but you've done a really good job of being mayor, and it always appeared to me that you were really enjoying and really having fun doing that. You told me one time, a number of times over the years, that it's a hoot to be the mayor of Tulahoma. So tell me, what are some of the things that made it enjoyable for you?
Well, I guess I got from my parents just this very sort of attitude of service, and I guess about every 10 minutes I get a text or a phone call or an email or something. Somebody just needs a little help, not necessarily a problem, but just maybe a question or a help about something. And so I just have always enjoyed helping people. Mm-hmm. And being mayor is, in my view, is sort of the ultimate at being in a position to help people. I'm in a position to know, as mayor, some things going on in Tulahoma, and sometimes that's helpful to people. But I've just always enjoyed helping people, and so I guess that's what motivated me initially to run. But this is my 31st year to do something. Mm-hmm. 5 years as an alderman, 8 years in the Tennessee General Assembly, and now almost 18 years as mayor. And so that's about 2/3 of my adult life. And I again, it's not about me, it's about what's best for Tullahoma. And again, I just think it's time let's give somebody else a chance at this.
If I remember correctly, your career in the political arena started on a garbage truck many years ago. Yeah. And I know you remember that. What was the purpose of riding around on a garbage truck like?
Well, actually, I was first elected mayor when I was 27 years old in 1982, and I actually, to maybe get to know some of the departments of city government, I worked a day in each of the departments. Worked a day in the finance department. I worked a day in Parks and Rec. I worked a day in all the departments. Mm-hmm. But the one that got by far the most attention was me at 4 o'clock in the morning. Actually, we started earlier than that. That's back before we had the automatic.
Right. You actually had to pick up garbage.
I absolutely had to pick up garbage. I put my hands in things that I never dreamed I'd put my hands in, because people would just press the garbage down in those old metal cans, and you'd have to get it out somehow. So, yeah, I mean, I distinctly remember that day too. I remember people coming outside and seeing me, you know, at 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, going, "Are you who we think you are?" And so it was a very informative day, as were all the days that I spent doing that.
There have to be a lot of highs and maybe some lows, but a lot of highs that I sort of remember during your career in government in the city of Tullahoma. What are some of the good things that you remember that kind of highlight your career?
Well, you know, I guess just trying to be supportive of all the young people. I describe myself as the CEO of Tullahoma, but it's not Chief Executive Officer. I think of myself as the Chief Encouragement Officer of Tullahoma. And being around the young people, I visit an elementary school every week and have for 15 or 16 years, and spend time in the classrooms and just try to encourage the young people. So, I mean, that's certainly a highlight, and it's still a highlight of my week. You know, I think doing Splash Island, although I did not support initially Light Tube, we have Light Tube now, and sure. I've been very supportive of Light Tube. I think it's positioned Tullahoma in a very technical way. Sure. Certainly the retail growth of Tullahoma has been pretty phenomenal for a rural town in southern Middle Tennessee, and it continues to grow, and we'll have some pretty exciting announcements over the next several months. So I guess those are just some of the things. You know, I really can't think of any lows. You know, I get frustrated at certain things that happen, just like anybody would get frustrated. But I just try to put it all in perspective. And I've always tried to lead calmly.
Which is a little bit unusual these days.
Yeah,
not necessarily in city government, but in state and national politics.
So I've just always tried to lead calmly. Yes, I get frustrated at things, but you know, if the mayor goes around kicking and you know, making scenes, I think that reflects on the community. So I just try to sort of suck it up and lead calmly.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tulahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
The election is certified on August the 20th, and they will be sworn in on August 24th. So
there you go.
It is going to be a couple of weeks then, actually.
So August 24th, we will see our new mayor, who, of course, right now looks very, very likely to be Daniel Berry. But again, there was a very, very large early voting turnout that just makes it hard to call. But here it is. Okay. Look at that. Nope, it's not hard to call anymore. Daniel Berry overwhelmingly won early voting. That is 749. You almost want to check our figures on that. 120 for Ray Noes in the mayor's race early voting. Carl Smithson picked up 36 votes. Write-in did very well in early voting. We can't say they're all for Eugene London. Anything could have been written in, but 461 write-in votes against Ray Noes's 120 there. So that's pretty astounding considering the other precincts that we saw tonight. Now for the alderman's race, Robin Dunn soundly takes the lead in early voting, 1824, followed by Jenna Almacher at 1316 and Ashley Shockley once again trailing. And considering this is the last number we were looking for, that's going to be trailing in the final total counts as well. School board. We are going to look at Kim Usselton taking the lead there, and that's by a couple hundred votes, 1791 for Kim, and even 1500 for Amy Rogers Dodson. Pat Welsh really, really close there at 1506, and then of course there was one more I didn't read. Gigi was behind.
Check early voting one more time. I think he keyed something in.
Absolutely. I think we should check that early voting. It doesn't seem...
Bear with us there, because
that Ray Noes number looked a little bit low. We want to make sure that was actually keyed into our monitors correctly before we make any assumptions on that, because we haven't seen that kind of a landslide for Daniel Berry in any other precinct.
It's been pretty close. We're looking...
now it's completely on the other side, so something was keyed in. We're going to keep confirming that. It looks like we got a call coming in, because now Ray Noes went completely the other way in early voting, and it becomes a landslide for him at 1,202.
Unbelievable.
So we're doing a little bit of double checking now. Those are good. Those are good. So now let's take a look at those current totals, because that really did switch the... Oh, these are the finals. Here we go. Going to call it. Look at that all night. Daniel Berry in the lead. We had a mistype in those early votings that made it look like he had it, and then there you go. We got the right number in, and Ray Noes pulls it out in the last seconds. Again, this will be certified on August 20, but right now there's no reason to believe that's not the result. That we've got Ray Noes, the next mayor of Tullahoma, followed closely by Daniel Berry in what's got to be a very sad defeat right there in the final moments as we got those early voting totals in. Now, of course, in every other race, it's pretty much what you expected all night long. We've got Jenna Almacher and Robin Dunn. Robin Dunn, the vote leader at 2992. Jenna Almacher, 2371. Those are your Tullahoma aldermen, one of whom one will be taking, Robin Dunn is staying in her own seat. The other one is taking Mr. Mathis's seat. I was about to say they'd be taking Ray Noes's, but that's not how it worked, and we've already covered that. In the school board, just as you've seen all night, Kim Usselton is the vote leader, 2981, followed by Amy Rogers Dodson at 2633, and J. Patrick Welsh at 2463, leaving Gigi Robison unseated on the school board this time out as Amy Rogers takes her seat. And of course, Sid Hill will stay right where he is, but look at that, 3,307 votes in his favor in votes that weren't even required. So good for him.
Unbelievable, yeah, what a finish. And you know, we saw that in the votes that were cast at the polls today all night long. Daniel Berry winning here, not by a huge margin. It was pretty close all the way through there. But then all of a sudden, when those early votes come in,
Noah's supporters voted early. There you go.
Earlier.
That's, I mean, and, obviously.
Which may be, Ray is a little bit older than Daniel, and maybe his supporters choose to vote early.
Could easily have been the case, because that was really, the first number was so surprising when we had it keyed in incorrectly that we did have to double check it, but the double check was just as big.
Yeah, we were looking at that number when we first saw it and thought this can't be right. But,
well, there you go. I mean, there's no reason. That's it. Mayor Ray Noes, congratulations to you. Thank you, former Mayor Lane Curley, for all of your 31 years of service to our community. We appreciate you tuning in as well tonight and letting us know when those votes will be certified. And Noes and all the other winners we named tonight will be sworn in on the 24th.
All right. Stay with us. More News Leader on 6 is coming up after these messages.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tulahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. The City of Tullahoma has issued a revised proclamation that replaces statements and information released Monday. The proclamation reads in part, quote, "In our haste and out of abundance of care and concern for the citizens of Tullahoma, my intent was poorly communicated to you and I want to correct that today," end quote, says Tullahoma Mayor Lane Curley. The proclamation issued today is issued as an advisory message rather than an order or mandate, respectively requesting that the residents of Tullahoma shelter at home to the fullest extent possible and that non-essential businesses close. The City of Tullahoma and our government are directed to follow the governor's executive orders, which continue to be issued regularly, and while we remain under a state of emergency, to follow the directives of our Coffee County Mayor Gary Cordell and Coffee County emergency management agencies. The mayor's proclamation is an advisory appeal to the citizens of Tullahoma to take action to stop the spread of the coronavirus in our community. It is intended to be a complement to the directives and guidance being issued by the CDC and the Tennessee Department of Health officials. Among others, Mayor Curley added, quote, "Many groups have taken their own initiatives and have quit meeting. Schools are closed. Restaurants have closed their dining venues based on the governor's executive order number 14. Most, if not all, of the 50 churches in Tullahoma are not meeting. Public meetings and assemblies are not gathering or are practicing social distancing. I appreciate those efforts. We realize the odds are greater of someone spreading the disease and becoming infected if there are groups of people meeting. There are approximately 1,000 businesses in Tullahoma, large to small. As your mayor, I respectfully request that non-essential businesses close and that citizens shelter at home to the fullest extent possible. In an effort to control the spread of the virus, my primary duty as mayor is to ensure the health, safety, and well-being of the people of Tullahoma. If I'm going to err, I want to err on the side of caution and safety. I sincerely believe that this is the best long-term interest of all the residents of Tullahoma. The short-term pain will benefit us in long term. The full proclamation can be read at the City of Tullahoma official website, tullahomatn.gov.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Yesterday, we spoke with Tullahoma Mayor Lane Curley about the state of Tullahoma during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Are you pleased with the compliance efforts for Tullahoma residents to limit travel and contact from other citizens?
Well, actually, yes and no. I on occasion will drive through Tullahoma, as I did just a few minutes ago, and there's still a lot of cars out. And I realize there are an awful lot of essential businesses still open, but it would sure be nice to see more people staying at home. The governor just extended the stay-at-home order until April 30th today. So we've got almost 2 more weeks of this as a minimum to put up with.
Yeah. Have there been any problems that you're aware of with enforcement, or how's that going?
Well, as far as enforcement, I'm not aware that the police department is prepared to write any citations. By and large, I think people are pretty well abiding by the no more than 10 people together at one time and social distancing. but you still see an awful lot of people out and about. You go by some of the larger retail box stores in Tulahoma, and you still see a lot of people outside. Now, to be fair, several of them are limited in the number of people that can go in the store, and so I'm sure that's helping some. But we now have 11 positive cases in Coffee County, and so just urge everybody to still be very careful.
Okay. Like I say, as of today, there are 11 cases of COVID-19 reported in Coffee County. Do you have any information to indicate if any of those cases were in the Tulahoma area?
You know, there were, one of the positive cases was tested at Unity Hospital in Manchester. 2 of them are at Hardin. But it's my understanding all 11 positive patients are at home recuperating.
Okay.
So I'm not aware that any of them are in the hospital or required a hospitalization.
Okay. But I mean, were they, do you know if any were Tullahoma citizens or anything?
You know, what happens is the regional health department office in Columbia is the one that tracks these 11 along with patients in like 10 or 12 other counties. So they're the ones that are doing the interviews. Where have you been lately? Who are you with? Where do you work? Those kinds of things. So I'm not aware that anyone in Tulahoma or in Coffee County knows who all 11 of these positive patients are.
Okay.
And since they're recuperating at home, you know, that takes the pressure off of the hospitals as well.
I understand. Early on, you had asked as a priority for people to check on the welfare of Tullahoma's more vulnerable citizens, such as the elderly. Do you know if that's how that's progressing?
Oh yeah, I acquired the list of approximately 1,400 Tullahoma residents that were over the age of 75. And so I recruited the members of the Mayor's Youth Council to make these calls, which was about probably 2 weeks ago now, or thereabouts. And yes, there were some citizens that did take us up on, I need some help with the groceries, and actually people are still contacting me that they need help, and I refer those to a group of volunteers. They're out in the community every day picking up groceries and medicine and things like that for these individuals. I did get a couple of phone calls because the Mayor's Youth Council members would say their name and what organization it was that they were calling from on behalf of me. And several people, senior citizens, did call and say they really appreciated that. And then several others said, was that on the up and up? And of course I assured them that it was. So I appreciate the members of the Youth Council. I appreciate Lee Fogel, a volunteer here in Tulahoma that's still helping to coordinate that help. And of course, over the next almost 3 weeks while the stay-at-home order is in effect, there'll be more needs like that come up as well. Because a lot of the seniors, I understand, are really hesitant to get out, and I understand that, and I respect that. So we've got a plan in place to help them.
Okay. Do you have any expectations on whether Tullahoma City Schools will start back before the end of the school year?
Yeah, I have no inside knowledge of that whatsoever about when or if the students will go back. I do know that they're on their, I think, second or third package that goes home. And I've talked to a couple of teachers, and as is typical, some students are really taking that and taking advantage of that and continuing to study, and then of course there's some that don't.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about how the city government is continuing to function while under this I guess social distancing and the order?
Well, the stay-at-home order as well.
And stay-at-home, yeah.
Sure. So yes. All the essential services are being performed now, police, fire, public works, all that's taking place just on schedule and normal. Most, if not all, of the lobbies are closed. The community centers are closed. The lobby at City Hall is closed. I understand the lobby at TUA is closed. And I'm sure there are other lobbies that are closed as well. So just like there are banks that are closed now if you use drive-up services. So. But no one has called to my attention that they've missed a garbage pickup or police didn't show up or whatever. So all that's taking place is normal.
Okay. And with so many retail businesses closed, what do you think the economic impact will be for the city? And do you anticipate if taxes will have to be increased or how that will have to be dealt with at some point?
Yeah, I anticipate there will be
a significant impact on this last quarter of the fiscal year of the city government, which is April, May, June. No question about that. Now, how much it's going to be, I know there are some retailers that are doing big business, and they're actually up over. I anticipate being up over the next 3 months. But yeah, it'll have a negative impact. And no, there will not be a tax increase. Over the years, we've added to the rainy day fund, and so there's a significant amount of money, several millions of dollars available to make sure that all essential services are continued throughout the year.
Okay. Well, that's all of my real questions. Do you have anything that you would just like to tell the citizens of Tullahoma before?
Well, you know, we've just learned that the governor's extended the stay-at-home order. I encourage people to stay the course. We'll get through this. Tullahoma and this area are very resilient, strong individuals, and so it's frustrating at times, but because I'm staying at home myself, and but I mean, it's just something that we've got to do. So I encourage people to stay the course.
And stay with us. We'll have your weather forecast after these messages.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's going to be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tulahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor, too, when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
My great-grandfather started it in 1900, and now it's 2020, which is 120 years. We still measure your feet, still try to help you find a good fit. We're just a good old-fashioned shoe store where we'll measure your feet, make sure you're in the right size, and help you find a comfortable shoe for men, women, and children.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
And that's our newsletter report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. for News Leader on 6. Stay safe and have a great evening.